Welcome to another Yes Japan Ask a Teacher Live. This is Ask a Teacher number 87. We are, we just celebrated the 100th Yes Japan Daily. And in 13 more Ask a Teachers, we're going to have number 100. I'm really excited about that. And some days when we have a lot of questions, I'll do 2 or 3 of these Ask a Teachers. So it could be like the day you think it's going to be number 96. I could go 96, 97, 98, 99, boom, 100. You never know. Pretty excited about that. All right, we've got some good questions today, and I'd like to get right to them. So let's do that. Zola, he says, "Hey George, I've always wondered why some words in Japanese, while connected to another word, change their pronunciation." At first I was like, change their pronunciation? Because I've seen that in Korean where it's like, wow, it's totally different. Why? I was like, Japanese words don't change their pronunciation. Because Japanese is always a, I, u, e, o, ka, ki, ku, ke, ko, ga, gi, gu, ge, ko. But then he explained. He said, for example, the word kami becomes gami in the word tegami. Is there a rule of thumb that can be applied and can this be done with any other word? This is really a good question, and it's something that freaks people out initially when they're learning Japanese. All right, let's talk about it. So the words that you gave as examples, we're going to show right here. We've got te, which means hand. Te means hand. By the way, if you look at your hand, one of them, I'm not sure which one, that one for me, it has the kanji te in the hand, and I think that's always the coolest thing when you're learning kanji. It just shows you right away that kanji are made of pictures. And there's a really cool book that until my book is being sold about kanji, I'm going to promote this book. It's called Picto Kanji. It's really cool. Although any book that uses pictures to show the kanji, at some point has to do real stretches. Like sometimes it's like, really? That's the kanji? I don't think that's where it came from. It's like, it's a McDonald's hamburger. That's why it means pork. No, that's not where it comes. Sometimes you're going to be not good. They help for some kanji, not for all. And we are guilty of it on Yes Japan. We have a thing called funji, which does the same thing. And sometimes I look at it and go, okay, that was clever what we did there. But it's not clever in other situations. It's just a stretch. All right, so te. Te is the first word that he brought up. And then we have kami. Kami, which means paper. Now some of you might be thinking, wait a minute. Kami means paper? No, I heard it meant hair. Kami, well, okay, all right. You caught me. You caught me in a big lie. No, I'm just kidding. No, kami is a different kanji than kami. Okay, kami is hair, yes. And kami is also God. It's also up in one of the readings. So there's a lot of kami, all right? Oh, it's even the kami, kami, right? For wolf. Anyway, the kami we're talking about is paper. So what happens when te and kami come together to make a word? Well, then they become what is called Dookugo. Dookugo. And that really just means it's a kanji compound word. A kanji compound word can have 2 kanji. That's the minimum, right? You can't have a compound word if there's no word making it compound. No kanji to double. Minimum 2 kanji, right? You can have 3-moji Dookugo. You can have 4-moji Dookugo. You can have 4 kanji words. So there's a bunch of... I left the air conditioning on. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to turn it off because it makes really bad humming noises during the production. I'll be right back. All right. So what happens when you bring 2 kanji together to make a Dookugo? There's this mysterious phenomena that happens. By the way, phenomena in Japanese, as I get my... Phenomena in Japanese is gensho. So what happens? Well, let's look. This is the word he's talking about. Tegami. It's written with the kanji, hand, and letter. And look at the furigana, which is the kanji. The kanji is the blue and the black on top. It's called furigana. Even though, yes, it's made out of hiragana, it's called furigana. It's the hiragana that shows you how to read things. And you'll notice that the ka is turned into a ga. Tegami, letter. tegami. Is it typical? Absolutely. It's very typical that the second word in the combination become it the. All right, let me show you something. I have this in a folder just in case we need to do it. Yes, Japan Daily. My very last folder. All right. So here we have the hiragana chart, okay? And in this first listing of hiragana, we have a, I, u, e, o, kaki, kuke, ko. And this is the order that Japanese people learn it. They learn it from this way over, okay? And then they learn these. These are the only sounds that have dakuten. And I said this just the other day, but it's a repetition, and that's okay. Repetition is the mother of knowledge. But dakuten characters, the sound that they make is called dakuon. And if you look really hard, you'll see, if you look really close, that is, only 4 sets of dakuon exist, right? Of the hiragana. Because this other one, this red one, is papi pupepo. Actually, is it the red one? It is the red one. Papi pupepo is actually a han dakuon, so it doesn't even count, right? So these are the ones. So what happens when you combine 2 words? If the character that starts the next word can have a dakuten and it wasn't on there to start with, a lot of times it gets added. That's the rule of thumb. 9 times out of 10, if you think about it that way, you're gonna be correct. That should be your instinct. And sometimes that papi pupepo happens too. I kept hampa. There it turned into a P. So it can happen to where the han dakuten is also used, which means half dakuten, right? Even though it's a circle. So let me show you another famous example that I like to use because it's just really easy to illustrate how this works with these words here. We have fire, which is heat, fire. And then we have hana, right? Now by themselves, they're just normal words, flower and fire. But join them together, and look what happens. You have hanabi. Flower and fire together are fireworks, which is kind of nice and poetic, right? But look above this kanji right here. You'll see that the hi has turned into a bi. That's nice, but hana has stayed the same. Hana has not changed. Oh, but I can make it change. All I gotta do is reverse those kanjis. We have the word hanabi for fireworks, but we have hibana for a spark. Hibana. Now look what happened. The hi doesn't have a dakuten, but the hana now does. Hibana. Cool, right? It just shows you that the second kanji is what gets modified, not the first. The first stays the same. Now, let's go down just a little, let's get a little bit deeper into the hole here. Let's talk about something else that you can do when you combine words, because you're thinking, well, what if I combine them in another way? What if I said this, and I didn't actually make them into a jukugo? Well, in this case, you're saying hinohana, which wouldn't mean spark, and it wouldn't mean fireworks. It means a fire flower. I don't even know if that sort of thing exists, but let's say that they found a brand new flower in the Amazon, and it was a Japanese guy, and he got to name it. And it was this beautiful orange, red, and yellow flower. He'd say, "Kore wa hinohana to imasu." I'm calling this the hinohana, the fire flower. Fire is modifying hana. Makes sense, right? Makes sense, right? What about the other way? What? Hana no hi? That's weird, right? Hana no hi, flower fire, or the flowers fire. I can only think of one situation where this might work. Let's say that same guy is in the Amazon looking for flowers, and he's been collecting all of these flower samples, and one, either he's hungry or he needs to heat them up for genetic identification. I don't know which way it could be. And he's with his wife, and she looks over and says, "Ah, hana no hi ga kiemashita." The flower's fire has extinguished itself. That's the one thing I could think of, right? So, but you see there are no dakuten there. And that's sort of the fun things you can do with Japanese, right? Can you make your own jukugo? Yeah, sometimes it happens. But most of the time, those jukugo are already decided. So really, if you just learn the word, you're going to know, yeah, that's on there. But te and kami, they're not just shoved together arbitrarily. They exist as a word, right? That's the key thing. It wasn't just made up yesterday. It's been there for a long time. All right, excellent question. Now let's move on. Next question is from Komiyabi. When meeting Japanese kids in person, what are some of your favorite ways to start conversation? What are some factors that you consider? First of all, I always talk about Pokemon first. It's my favorite thing to talk about. I'm just kidding. I don't really meet that many new kids. I think when you say kids, you don't really mean children. Because I know that's kind of the way you talk, Komiyabi. It's rough. What you mean is like when you meet kids your age, right? I'm just assuming that's what you meant. When you meet new people, well, I mean, gosh, the things I'm going to say, I mean, Japanese people are human just like us. I'm going to say the things that you would say about other human beings. You want to find some common ground, or what they say in Japanese, kyotsuten, or common points, right? You want to find, if you remember, by the way, in the last Yes Japan Daily that we did, which was 108, there was a phrase, jakuten, which meant weak point. Well, this is kyotsuten, strong point. Kanji database might be working on you right now. So kyotsuten, you want to find some kyotsuten. So maybe I would say, donna eiga ga suki desu ka? That word donna is going to be very important. What kind of? Donna. Donna. Donna eiga ga suki desu ka? What kind of movies do you like? Donna ongaku ga suki desu ka? Really good, right? Donna game ga suki desu ka? What kind of games do you like if you're a video gamer? Or a gamer, I guess is what they actually say. So, could be anything. Anything that can get you common ground and get you talking. The minute you guys like the same group or the same movie or the same genre of movie, it's done. You know, what facts do I consider? This is typically how if I haven't been introduced to somebody, and let's say I'm on the train, or I'm in a bar, or I'm somewhere where I'm around people that I've never met, I'm the kind of guy that listens to the conversation and picks up a key topic that they're talking about and interrupts and talks about it. I do things like this on the train. Like, there was a lady on the train. She was reading a really interesting book. Don't remember what the name of the book was. She's like 50 years old. And I kind of was just like looking over at it, like casually out of the corner of my eye. And I said, moshirosou no hon desu ne. Looks like an interesting book. She goes, sou na no, kore ga ne. And she started talking to me. I didn't want to do this because it's like totally off the path. But let's talk about this. People sometimes get into a rant that Japanese people are racist. I've heard this. And they don't, one guy on YouTube is obviously to me a troll. I mean, maybe he's had a lot of racism, but he doesn't know how to let it go. The entire country is racist to him. But you know what? When I sit on the train, a typical thing happens. Japanese people don't sit next to you. They avoid sitting next to you because you're a dirty American. No, that's not why they're not sitting next to you. It's very simple. They have trauma about speaking English. They are very scared to have to talk to you. It's not because you smell, it's not because you're ugly. Well, yeah, but they're staring at me all the time. Okay, you know what? If you saw a tremendously Asian girl, extremely Asian, you might stare at her too. You're extremely different, right? If there was an alien with a green face and huge eyes on the train or on the bus, you don't tell me you'd be doing this? You'd be looking. Also, if you're pretty. By the way, they find foreigners attractive, so they want to look. They don't look at each other, because those Japanese people to each other are not unique in any way. They all look the same to themselves. Seriously. That's a weird thing to say, right? But they're normal. They're used to those face types. But with our big noses, right? Look at this nose. This is rare, right? Look at my eye color is this hazel brown. They don't have that. I welcome it, and I understand it, and I do not think it's racism. Japan is such a xenophobic country, if anything. They're not racist. Are there racist people? Yes. Have I seen racism? Yes. Have I been spit on? No. Have I been beat up? No. I don't draw that to myself. I talk to people. I'm constantly talking. People know that I speak Japanese. All right? I'm aware of my surroundings. If I'm on the train, see a lady reading a book, I'll talk to her. It's not a big deal. If you know, I've done this before, even though I was shunned, you know, even though I didn't get any response. Two guys talking on the train about what they're studying in college. I jump in and start talking to them. Sometimes it doesn't work. Just like in America and in Europe, you have a whole bunch of different types of people. In America, we have tons of racists. If you were dropped right into the middle of one of our southern states, maybe, and excuse me if that's really not the case, but I'm sure that there are pockets of places in America, in any state, where they're extremely racist. When I went to Alabama with my Japanese wife, I got so many stares. Of course, I was speaking full-blown Japanese, and I get that. It looks really crazy. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Matter of fact, when I went to Mississippi, they're like, oh, you speak really good ornamental. I'm like, ornamental? Wow. Wow. Like, ignorant. Like, ignorant. There are ignorant people in this country. And also, I've said this story before, but I want to end it with this. Sometimes racism is not racism. Just because you're a different human type and someone beats up on you or does something mean to you does not mean it's racism. Key point. I had a band here in Las Vegas, and I took them to a bar. And we were dancing and drinking and having fun, right? I don't know if we were actually dancing, but probably we were. We get in the cab on the way home, and one of the guys is like really bummed out. He's like so bummed out. I go, what's the matter, man? He goes, さっきのさ、バーテンドがさ、人種差別されたんだよ. What? He was racist to you, the bartender? He's like, And I'm like, wait a minute. The guy with the blonde hair and the tattoo on his arm? I said, no. That guy was a dick. He was a dick to me, and he was a dick to you. Has nothing to do with what you look like. He was not racist. He was a dick. Sometimes Japanese people are dicks. Sometimes they're raised in a family that's dickish. It happens. Doesn't mean the entire country is racist. So chalk it up to, hey, I had some racist problems. But don't dwell on it. Please, guy on YouTube. Freaking love Japan. They're the greatest people. They're so nice. 99% of the time they're nice. So what are some of the factors that I consider, Komiyavi? To get back to your question, I don't consider much. Just, I consider, what do I want to talk about? It's all about me, really, right? I'm the one starting the conversation. And sometimes they start the conversation with me in English because they want to practice English. And I, at that time, will speak all the English to them that I want. Key point is, don't be scared of Japanese people. They're more scared of you than you are of them. All right. Blake 2616 says, I know that the in undes is something like an expectation, but what are the nuances of using with verbs? Is an expectation. I never... I don't know. First of all, I don't know that it... Maybe your book has said that, the book that you're reading. And it might be true, I just never really thought of it. But let's look at what that undes thing does, and that'll clear it up for you maybe, and maybe some other people. Because you did ask, what does the undes do with verbs? I'm going to show you. Let's look at this first phrase. We have ikimasu ka, ikimasu ka, are you going? Ikimasu ka. This is your typical polite, I don't know who you are, I'm going to be polite to you anyway. Ikimasu ka, are you going? Then we have ikuno, which is the informal way of saying are you going? Ikuno. Notice that on the top we have ikimasu ka. Ka makes it a question. Here in the informal, no makes it a question. But you have to have an upward tone and that exclamation, not exclamation, but question mark. Ikuno. Ikuno? Ikimasu ka? Ikuno? Now you don't want to use ikuno with people you don't know. You don't want to use ikuno with your boss, unless you're really, really friendly, but I don't think you're going to be that friendly with your boss. But what if you want to say ikuno, but still be polite? You can do it. There is a way to do it. It's ikuno desu ka? Ikuno desu ka? Are you going? Ikuno desu ka? And that actually brings it back to pretty much the same politeness level of ikimasu ka. I would say there's literally no difference. Is ikimasu ka better? Yes. Ikimasu ka is better. And then if someone says, is ikuno desu ka the same as ikimasu ka? Yes, it's the same. Those are my official answers. Alright, so, ikuno desu ka sometimes turns into this. Ikun desu ka? That un that you're talking about comes from the no. The no is the un. It's just more, I hate this word, colloquial. Colloquial. Is it colloquial or colloquial? I don't know. It's just more spoken Japanese. Ikun desu ka? Now you couldn't say iku desu ka. You can't do it. But you could say ikuno desu ka and ikun desu ka. Now there's no expectational nuance there. Ikun desu ka? Are you going? It's just a question. You could maybe, again, say this all the time. Every Japanese book and every teacher have different opinions. My opinion is, I don't hear the expectation thing that you're hearing. Alright? So, ikun desu ka? Are you going? Here's some answers. Hai, ikimasu. Yes, I'm going. Hai, ikimasu. That is obviously the response to ikimasu ka? Iku. Very abrupt, yeah? Iku. Yeah. I'm going. You can mumble it. You don't have to go right? That's a little bit girly sounding. But guys would be like more like you good? Yeah, I'm going. You good? Then there's this. Notice there's no question mark. Ikuno. 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 Now, this has nuance. Ikuno. I'm going. It's a determination. I'm determined. Ikuno. I'm going. Or it's somber. Ikuno. 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 Yes, I'm going. Ikuno. Are you going? Iku. Going. Ikuno. Alright. Then there's this. Ikun desu. Ikun desu. It's really the no. It's like saying ikuno desu. Ikun desu. But it's more spoken. Now, are there nuances? Yeah. You can make nuances with these things, absolutely. It's all about tone of your voice. Ikun desu ka? Hai. Ikun da. Now, maybe the expectation that they're talking about is this one. Ikun da. Notice how it's very happy and ikun da, I'm going. That's probably the expectation they're talking about. So maybe that's it. Ikun da. Ikun da. Just depends on how you say it, right? So there you have it. Ikun desu. I'm going. Hai, ikun desu. Now, would I recommend that you as a foreigner jump right into saying undes? No. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it when people jump ahead in their level too much. Like, you should stay with where you are. Like I hear this all the time. Ikitai desu ga. Ugh. Ikitai desu ga. Please don't do that. Just say ikitai desu. Don't say ikitai desu ga. It's unless that's you. I don't think it's you. It doesn't sound natural to me. Again, these are my opinions. And this is a free video. What do you care? Unless you bought it. You can't buy it on Yes Japan. But for the first time when it comes out, it's free. Maybe you're watching it there. All right. Thank you for the question. Excellent question. Hopefully, I've given you some insight on what the undes does. Aoyuki90 says, why is it that sometimes female Japanese musicians use boku and kimi? She didn't say this, but, oh, she did say this. Aren't these just for males? They are typically for males, right? Boku meaning me and kimi meaning you. Is this done because they have fewer syllables? Well, look, I would say that's an excellent thought. I had never thought that, okay, yeah. Kimi is only 2 syllables versus anata. I like it. I could just end there. But let's see what you're talking about. There is an independent artist named Higuchi Makiko, or Makiko Higuchi, however you want to say it. Look her up, her name, she'll come up somewhere. And she goes to Taiwan a lot, been to America once. Let's listen to one of her songs. It's actually called Toku ni iru kimi e, to you who is far away. This is, and we're going to actually listen to the part where she says kimi. But she's going to give you a bonus. She's going to say kimi and boku in the same song. Here we go. Playing acoustic guitar, that's her by the way. You should see her live, it's beautiful. Did you hear it? Kimi and boku. One more time. Here we come. Here we go. Here we go. Here comes your boku. So, let's just keep that low in the background. I kind of like that. So, why would a girl sing like that? There's a bunch of reasons why, right? She could be writing it from the boy's perspective, but this is so common. It's fairly common. So common that you thought of it, so common that I have thought of this. Now, I listened to the end of the song trying to find out, well, is this a song where the boy has written a letter to the girl? No. It's literally just her talking about it. Now, it could totally be from that perspective. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it at all. None of the story says that. But they're separated, these lovers, and maybe the boy is saying it, maybe the girl is saying it, I don't know. But they're talking about, I'm so weak without you, and blah, blah, blah. But you have that kimi and that boku and that. Now, typically that would be the way guys speak, right? Boku wa kimi no koto ga suki desu. You know, I love you. Instead of saying, watashi wa anata no koto ga suki desu. So, your theory is as good as mine. It's a poetry thing. Less syllables is good. Plus, you know, why not? I like it. Alright. There you go. I think that's the last question. Let's see here. That is it. If you'd like to be involved, if Kimi would like to be involved in Boku no stream, in this stream, and if you'd like to get your question answered by me, you can go to yesjapan.com and join it for free. Get a free account. And what will that let you do? That'll let you jump into the stream. You have to have a free account to do that. It's free. No credit cards required. If you decide, hey, you know what? This guy kind of knows what he's talking about. Maybe I want to learn more Japanese from him, from his methodology. YesJapan.com is my methodology. And it is 5 courses of Japanese, which are these books right here put on the web. Or you can buy the books, either way. And that is fairly cheap. Not expensive at all. I rarely do promotion, but that's it. That's my promotion. If you'd like to never pay, but still get your question answered, just come into the stream while I'm doing this. In order to know when we're streaming, get on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, and then you will get a notification right before we stream. Thank you for watching. YesJapan.com, Ask a Teacher. Bye-bye. Konnichiwa. Watashi Nihongo shaberimasu. Anata wa shaberimasu ka? Ishou ni benkyou shimashou ka? Alright. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel just of me sounding like a crappy, like the worst accent possible. But like way advanced grammar and vocabulary. I think that would be funny. Or I'll start like a channel and I'll call it I'm Learning the Japanese. And I'll be like, well, I started learning today and I got this book here, Japanese from 01. And then like after like a month and a half, I'm like, and the book was very intelligently written and it's really helped me learn quite a bit. And like my Japanese would be like flawless. Alright.